Hello folks and welcome back to more spooky adventure in Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. So, yeah, this game would be... I don't think we've hit the point yet where it really would start to drag and involve lots of backtracking, confusion, and not knowing where to go. But this game's going to move a bit faster thanks to the map. That being said, I mentioned at the end of the last video that it might be time to do a little bit of off-screening. Well, I guess I'll cover that when we get to the next place where off-screening makes sense. And I was looking at a fact on leveling up in this game, because it does seem like enemies stop giving you experience sometimes, and you're just like, oh, okay, I guess I can't level up. Well, they're fairly clever about it. They set it up so that you can't really just grind at the beginning of the game, because enemies will stop. Enemies in different areas, you'll notice there's like 800 colors of skeletons in this game. Certain enemies will only give you experience when you are at a low enough level that they're considered the appropriate enemies to fight. Like other more advanced RPGs have this, but Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest is a pretty early game to bring on that mechanic. But yes, it does in fact use that mechanic. So I did a little bit of thinking, a little bit of looking around at the map and stuff. There's really only one other point in the game where you need garlic, so I'm not going to buy any more garlic. We will need more laurels, but not right away. And there's no freaking, here in the town of Algiba, although we have a friend here, that friend does not operate a church, which means we can't heal here. So there is something we want to do before we leave. And, oh, my thoughts are confused in my head. As far as grinding goes, if you are playing this game for yourself, you want to grind in the mansions, because time, like the day-night cycle doesn't pass in the mansions, which means that you're not wasting time as far as getting the good ending. And again, although I'm not going to make a crazy beeline for the best ending, it would be nice to actually earn not the worst ending. So I'm going to try to strike a balance between earning a good ending and actually getting all the different items and stuff. So what I thought I would do is, I did actually do a little bit of off-screen work, but I'm going to fight my way there based on where we were at the end of the last video. And then at some point in the future, I will be loading the state. Which means that I can dick around a bit, show off some stuff that I wouldn't normally show off because it's wasteful of parts. For example, there's the Sacred Flame. Here's me getting killed by a spider web. But now you can see how the Sacred Flame works. What a horrible night to have a curse. So you can see the Sacred Flame, not really all that exciting. We can show off the different daggers. See, that dagger was free. But this dagger, this one will cost you, but it does more damage. There you go. We'll have plenty of time to see laurels later, perhaps even hardy. For now, let's just get to the place where I did my off-screening that I mentioned. Although, there's something I want to see first, which is there's a clue. I can't remember if we got it or not. So I'm just going to get it again to be on the safe side. Were we to head to the next area. And what I've noticed about this game is that the clues that you get by smashing like blocks for hidden clues, sometimes they're kind of difficult to figure out what they're talking about, but they're not usually just completely bullshit. Although what people tell you in town usually is. So if you actually get this, it says, to replenish Earth, space, Caminillo, by the lake with the blue crystal. Well, we spent a lot of time going around up various lakes, kneeling, but in fact this is one of the famous things that made this game rather unwinnable for the kiddies back in the day. because it didn't really seem like you had a whole lot of reason to know to do this. There's another point in the game where you don't even get this much of a hint. Thanks, Belmont. Thanks for bouncing me around like a doof. Alright, so let's see if there's any other hidden messages that we need to worry about. I know there will be a few in the castle. It's interesting, actually. If you look at this map of the castle, there's a whole bunch of stuff that there's no reason whatsoever to visit. It doesn't do you any good. But there are a couple of hidden messages at the castle. But there's no more hidden messages before we get to the castle. So let's concentrate on getting to the castle. Why did I bother to backtrack for that? Ugh, not good, JG. As you can see, if you don't care about losing hearts periodically, and there'll come a point where we've bought all the items we need and can kind of don't give a crap about hearts anymore, there's very little penalty for death in this game. But as you can see, we come to this screen. There's no way to get across if you kneel. And you have to kneel for a long-ass time. Like, long enough that you might give up on it and think, okay, never mind, that was a stupid idea. With the blue crystal equipped. Oh, and yes, by the way, even though once you've done that trick with the blue crystal, you'll see that it was a fake lake, as it were, and there is a path underneath that's perfectly safe for you to take. No, jumping into the lake without doing that does mean you die. Also, while it's on my mind, speaking of things being underneath lakes, here's our map of an earlier section of the game. Here's the town where we start. Just want you guys to know that the second town we went to is in fact located directly underneath this castle and forest, if you look at the map. Yes, the game's layout doesn't actually make any sense. Alright, well, we're here. And this would be the place where I did my off-screen leveling up. There's a hidden wall here. There's a whole bunch of stuff above us. You can climb those stairs. You can climb a bunch of stuff. None of it is of any use. It's just a bunch of enemies up there that you can fight, and nothing comes of it. That was an interesting death. I wasn't anticipating dying that way. But even at game over, you don't really have to backtrack. You just lose all your hearts and experience. So game over has a bit of sting, but not insurmountable. Destroy the curse with Dracula's heart. Okay, that message kinda doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying. Oh, great. That's great. Thanks, game. Again, though, like when you game over and you lose all your hearts, like your incentive to not game over is really drastically curtailed. Problem we've got now is that this is the person who sells us the steak. So we need 50 hearts. And I kind of screwed all that up with my game overing. Oh, fudge. This can take a minute. Because I do want to actually do this fair and square. Like, I've already off-screened this. But I kind of want to do it fair and square. But yeah, this is pretty much what you would have to do, folks, is grind for 50 hearts. So, you guys watching this, you guys in the comments, how the hell do I get out of there? That was a bull. Okay, so now I'm trapped forever because if I try to attack... This is really an interesting spot I'm finding myself in. I don't know how I get out of this. I guess somebody's texting me. It is not a day when I'm expecting to receive work texts. Oh, I'm making a hash of this. There's some really precise jumps in this game, in my defense. Alright, let's go to an earlier screen where it's a bit easier and safer to get enemies to repop. You know what? Screw this. You guys know what it looks like when you capture a piece of Dracula's heart. We saved... I already did this and was gonna... I just wanted to show you guys the mansion playthrough. We don't need to, like, actually get the heart, or whatever body part it is here. I don't even know if it's the heart. Well, this is annoying. And now I'm really wondering who the heck's texting me, because I'm getting enough... I have like a phone that, like, if I don't answer my text right away, it beeps to remind me, which is annoying because I'm like, you know what, I'll answer. On rare occasions, I didn't hear it the first time. Usually it means I'm not up for answering it right this second. But I got enough that I think somebody's texting me multiple times, so I hope everything's okay. By actually powering up my whip, I also feel a little bit like I'm cheating here because, well, you can see that this castle is supposed to be under that lake. Garlic in the graveyard summons a stranger. See, that actually is a hint. It's a hint about how to get that knife that we got. I guess it's the silver dagger? Yes, it's a hint about how to get the silver dagger. Now, there's a lot of graveyards in the game. They don't all give you that, but here you go. If we had the stake, we can deal with that. Huzzah. And then you just have to find your way out. Which, because of the placement of these blocks, is a bigger pain in the butt than you'd think. Because you kind of have to go the entire way back. There's no kind of shortcut out of there. Well, let's just forget about it and say that we did it. Because again, I did it off screen. So, I want to show you guys... Ooh, wrong? I want to show you guys... This is what happens when you level up. Because I'm just a little bit short of the hearts needed to level up. Which for some reason only the hearts coming from the skeletons count right now. What's experience is separate from hearts. There you go. Now you know what it looks like when Simon Belmont levels up. And I can actually take us to the save slot we should be continuing from. Which is this one, where we already have Dracula's heart and max cash, and we can't get any more experience in this zone. So, congratulations, me. We've just cleared Castle 2, aka Rover Mansion. Red Rover, send Jimmy on over. And now we can make our way back to the very first town of the game, and all points west, because with laurels, we can not only flavor our soup, we can also avoid taking damage temporarily from the marshes, which were long enough that we could not possibly have survived them. Now I need to like be careful again because I'm no longer have a save state that I'm going to be loading where none of this matters. Probably being more careful than I need to be. But until we actually spend some of these hearts, there's not a whole lot of point in me collecting hearts. I just sort of collect them if they're in the way. And if we were to, yeah, so you can see if we kept going over to the side there's nothing to see. I just like completely froze up there for a second. What the hell? I clearly whipped the thing. I hate you, game. Spiders are amongst the most irritating enemies in this game. Although later on we will get the famous Castlevania birds, who just like hate Simon Belmont with a indescribable passion. And I grabbed that clue again in case it does something, but it didn't actually stop to read it. Bats are kind of annoying. Medusa heads are in this game, they're kind of annoying. Few things seem to bother me as much as the spiders, though. And these guys can be pretty annoying because they tend to come at you from angles where you can't attack them at the beginning of the screen like that. I should have gone down the other path. That would have taken us through a town where I could have healed at the church. It's interesting that this game has towns with churches and other towns don't have churches. The Morning Sun, by the way, has vanquished the Horrible Knight. And I'm really trying not to game over because I want to make sure we get these hearts spent. If I do really well, we could get to the town where the next weapon is sold. Otherwise, I could at least buy some more laurels. I could buy more garlic just to get the money spent. Here's the first mansion. No need to go back in here. It's a bit safer when you can one-hit kill those fishmen. And of course, these are pretty much the weakest enemies in the game here. The daytime version of the enemies you fight outside the first town. I say that and then immediately take a hit from one. It's not that they're no harder or easier to take hits from or avoid hits from than other skeletons. They just do less damage. I guess these guys are probably weaker. So as soon as I say that, weaker enemies show up. I hate you so much, Fishman. I guess I could be using Dracula's rib or whatever. I believe that would block these fireballs. Fairly treacherous screen for this early in the game. And this is very much a game that's got a design where you can't just kind of take a second and fall asleep on the first entering a screen. Please get over here, Wolfman. Oh! No, I don't think I'm on any kind of speedrun pace here, so I'm not that sure that we're going to get the best ending. I also don't remember where in this town the church is, but I feel like I've taken enough hits that I should... There we go. Kind of figured it was up on this top level. Rest here for a while. Dude. I'm Father Hulk, brother. Don't remember Father Hulk? Somebody has not watched every one of my LPs ever. Specifically, Breath of Fire 2 would be. Okay, now I don't know where there is a watery death pit. I would have been safe to jump off that to the left, but... So here you see some... Okay, yeah, see, that's the kind of thing that I hate about this game. I'm not gonna go back and re-heal over that, but because I don't want to waste this day-night cycle. But I do need to use some laurels. Because I was not able to actually successfully complete this trip in one day-night cycle. What a horrible night to have occurs. So you can see, even with the laurel, I was taking some damage at the end of that. And now, even with my powerful chain whip, enemies are strong enough to require more than one hit. Sure, I'll take you to a good place. Heh, heh, heh. Oh no. Sharon, the ferryman of the River Styx, is less than trustworthy. Sharon? Want to give me a chance to get off here, or is that not how we're doing this? Oh, great, the fishermen take more than one hit. This could be bad. Okay, lesson learned. He doesn't stop. I think I knew that and wanted to show it off, if I'm being honest. Although I don't remember this path well enough to know whether I should be throwing holy water around to find, like, amusing little secret, Oh, well, there's Castle 3. That's the next place where I would really need to do some grinding. Oh, no, it's not. Never mind. Forget you saw that. That's a secret that we'll be uncovering later. That isn't a secret because you have to uncover it to win the game. We are very close to the next town, but in fact, it's nighttime. So... I might blitz right by it and get to the next town after the next town, because that's the place where I need to buy a new Whoppet, which will cost 200 hearts when 256 is the maximum you're allowed to hold on to. Meaning, essentially, pretty much, if you want to buy this weapon, you need to have just about the maximum amount of cash possible. And since it's nighttime anyway, it only makes sense that we just kind of skip this town for now and come back to it later. Can I not read the sign? Turn right for the Dead River. Left for the Saddam Woods. Saddam. Goat boy. The infamous slimes. Because I was watching a Let's Play, or not a Let's Play, a speedrun of this recently, I'm thinking of them using a terminology I would never use otherwise, as the most RNG enemy in the game. Now, what these grabby hands guys are, not sure officially what this enemy type is. Oh, my whole thing was I was going to look and see if there was secret messages we need to be looking for. The good news about this is I probably am getting experience. Which means I'll... hate you guys. No, they really are. They're just a massive pain in the ass at feet. Ugh. Like I said, I can't game over here. I gotta get to this town. I'm kinda good, actually. If I can buy laurels in this town, which I think I can, I should be good to go. Yes, I can. So I will spend all of my money here once it becomes daytime, and then, although there's a certain amount of grinding to be done to level up in the mansions, if you are so inclined, it gives you... You take less damage, you deal more damage if you level up. But as far as actually needing to buy stuff, I think that's kind of it. Any money I have will go towards maintaining a stock of the invincibility laurels, because the best weapon in the game cannot be purchased, but you need to purchase the second best weapon in the game before you can get it. Also, my favorite in-game clue ever is coming, so... Coming in this town. I guess I was kind of vaguely wanting to know where in this town I would need to be parked to get the Morning Star. I need to explore every place anyway, but I might as well be hanging around at the door where the Morning Star is, so I know that I get that done. But yes, I will be exploring every place in this town so I can talk to all the NPCs. One nice thing about towns, they do not feature... Am I getting experience from these guys? Let's see, 37. No, which means there's really no point in me fighting them. I kind of just need to hang out here until it's daytime, buy the Morning Star, and call the video. Pretty much already feeling, considering like that we've had 3 day and night cycles, and I think you only get 8 total to win the game. I think getting the best ending really does involve speedrun strats. It's kind of crazy. I don't think that's happening for us. The morning sun has vanquished the horrible night. So that's a thing. Game over. You just fall to your death there. I guess they're not assuming you have the holy water for this somehow? Are you a chiseler offering bad deals? No. Morning Star, buy one, 200 hearts. Yes. He's happy to sell you another one. You don't need one. But now we're using the Morning Star, second best weapon in the game, and we got just enough left to go buy some laurels. So I think we can do that. We can hold up to 4 laurels now, and there's an item which will allow us to increase our capacity up to 8. Which is actually, that item is what we need the second piece of garlic for. Otherwise, the only garlic can be used as an in-game combat item, but it's kind of weird. And this guy gets to walk through those blocks, making it difficult to talk to him. Believe in magic and you'll be saved. Believe in yourself, Sailor Moon. Yeah. Alright, let me make sure I buy these laurels. Laurels will be... Okay, there's nothing but talky-talk NPCs at the top level of the town, so I need to go back down to get laurels, but I feel like we might as well finish talking to all the NPCs in town. The town of Ondal, I believe. We skipped the town, we'll go back for it. If I don't, you guys can yell at me later in the comments. You cannot read that sign. Presumably it's for somebody's band. Or it says obey the giant or something. Andre has a posse. Take my daughter, please! Okay, so we've got stand-up comedians in this town. A variation on the take my wife, please routine. Down there we have, oh god, I'm blanking on his name. I can see his face. I get no respect, I tell you, guy. I'm blanking on his name. Which seems very disrespectful. Rodney Dangerfield. That's a young Rodney Dangerfield. He hasn't quite figured it out yet. When I was your age, women loved me. Now, they want nothing to do with me. Dig up the 4th grave in the cemetery for a diamond. That's bullshit. A man living in darkness can give your whip power. That hint isn't terribly helpful, but in fact, it does refer to something that can happen, and will happen, later in this LP. Just checking to confirm there's no one else to talk to before we hustle on out of here. So this town features Rodney Dangerfield and a guy who used to get it on with the ladies and doesn't anymore. And of course it features a guy who tells you about a man who lives in darkness. He has betrayed darkness, he has betrayed light. What's going on in this place, huh? Surely there must be something to be done here. really don't want people to find your shop. Buy some of my laurels? Yes, indeed we will. That means we're almost out of hearts, which means until I start accruing hearts again, I am less inclined to care about game over. And no, I'm not going to search all the floor tiles. You're only going to have one kind of hidden room or the other. You're not going to have, like, multiple hidden things going on in one town, or in one building in this game. So let's speak to the rest of the town's folks. Don't make me stay, I'll die. Good to know. Don't look into the Death Star, or you will die. Thanks, friend. That helps. Now, those guys always assume we're wearing tam o'shanterns. Go back and look at the model, you'll see what I'm talking about. Can I please read the sign? Turn right for Saddam Woods, left for the Jam Wasteland. Jam is my name. And that's it. We've heard from everybody in this town. We now have the best weapon that we're going to have for a while. We need to go back to the previous town to get a red crystal, which is a mystical artifact which will allow us to unlock our next, like, completely impossible to figure out why you would do that treasure. Oh wait, no, that's not true. We have to equip our heart and talk to the ferryman, and he will take us to a different location. And I remember specifically, I was reading about this, I was trying to find all the different secrets to make sure I didn't miss anything in the playthrough, and this is the one that this particular guide I'm reading points out as, of all the secrets that prevented people from winning the game, this was one of the biggest ones, because there is literally nothing in the game that suggests that you do this. Oh, Castlevania Simon's Quest. You are a kooky game. Alright folks, that's going to be it for this video. When we come back, we will be fighting our way back to the last town, talking to all the townspeople there. Hopefully I get that done before it becomes night again and we waste a bunch of time. And then we'll have a little respite from towns and actually be heading for, you know, fighting some monsters and fighting our way to the next mansion. I'm Mysterious JG, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.